Hello, everybody. I'm Jake. This over here is Connor.
Hello.
Today, we are here with you to connect with you
Yes,
because,
this is Games Connect Us All.
boom, best intro of all time.
Yes.
So let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about small talk. Let's talk about small talk.
Okay, what's
How
up?
was your week?
Um, well, I had a really bad day today.
Did you
Um,
really?
yeah. We we were talking before we started recording, and I've already said this about like 5 times.
I
Um,
just want to know. I don't even know why still.
I know, I was waiting for the podcast. So, yesterday, before I'm about to go to bed, I get an email from, or no, I look at like, I want to see what homework I've done. I have an app on my phone that uh, where I have all my homework loaded in, and it tells me when I have it. So I looked at it. It said I had an assignment due today that is a 2.5 hour assignment.
Uh
What
oh.
it is, it's for oral skills, and I'm supposed to record myself sight reading 10 different like
Holy shit.
stuff. And it's really difficult stuff. Half of them are rhythms and half of them are melodies, and we have to use this. We have to conduct while we're doing it, um, and we have to, for rhythms, we have to do takadimi syllables. We have to do solfege for melodies, and for
Do
rhythms
you
we
gotta
have
do
to
like
do
ti ta, ti ti ta, ti 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 ta?
it's
Oh,
takadimi. It's takadimi for simple, and then for compound, or sorry, yes, simple and compound. And for compound, it's takida, and it's like
ba-dum ba-da ba-dum bum bum.
I'll send you one of the videos I made because it literally sounds like I'm like speaking gibberish. But the anyway, I found out that was happening. But the problem with that, normally I would be fine with that and be like, oh shit, I got to do that tomorrow at some point. But I had a test, a unit test, that was also due tonight. That I like is really big. Like it's like a big part of my grade, and I had figured I would had time enough to do it today during the day because I had nothing else going on. I didn't have any big other pieces of homework until I found out that I had that thing. So already, that is two big stressors that are on me because those are like huge parts of my grade, and I'm like, you know, uh,
Gotta do them in one day.
gotta do them both in one day. They're both like 2.5 hour assignments, so I had to find like a free like time that I had to do, like was able to do it, and find time to like eat and go to the rest of my classes, um,
And do games connect us all?
and do games
The
connect us all. But
podcast.
it's all done now. I should
Except for games
specify.
connect us all.
Yeah, no, that's
Episode's
not done.
over.
I also have homework that I still have to do, but I'm gonna do later. Um,
See, the viewers come first. Just one more reason to
yeah.
subscribe.
Um, but also I was doing like a phone cleanse today. I like didn't
Oh.
want to be on my phone at all, like
Oh yeah.
scrolling social media and stuff. So I like set my phone to like a focus if you're an iPhone user, and it I only had the like apps I use in my everyday life on the page, and I could only get notifications from certain people and certain apps.
Ooh.
Um, so I didn't have my like short term the dopamine rush of scrolling through TikTok, um, and I had two huge stressors on me for like from the beginning. And I almost had another one because he actually had a quiz that was due today as well, along with the test, but he forgot to upload it, so it's due
Good.
on
That'd be
Wednesday. Yeah, I
terrible.
know. Um, there was one other thing that kind of threw a wrench in things. Um, oh, last night I had an NDA shift, night desk attendant, where I sit in the front desk in the wee hours of the morning and check people in and out of the building. Um, and you have to do that. My shift is at 3:30 in the morning, which is like
Why would you do
hard
that
to
to
do.
yourself?
I get the job is really easy. You sit there and you sit
Right.
there and do whatever the hell you want. So I play video games or do my homework and I'm sitting there and getting paid. So like
Sign me
it's just
up.
yeah, right, exactly. And I'm a night owl anyway, so I am able to function all right. But the problem is, last night I went to bed at like 10 o'clock or like closer to 11 actually. Uh, and I was expecting to get like a solid. I was gonna wake up at 2, so it's now it's like 3 4 hours of sleep. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I had pink noise on my TV. And I hear this like really like high pitched noise, and I'm like, "What is that? Why is my TV making that weird noise?" And I heard people talking outside my door, and I paused the video on my TV, and I hear fire, exit to
Oh
proceed
God.
to your exit immediately. At 1 o'clock in the morning, somebody set off the fucking fire alarm, so we all had to go outside and
Did you
wait
just
out
stay
there.
up?
I thought about it, but I did end up sleeping for a little bit
You're
after
still
that.
running
But
on like nothing right now.
yeah,
Holy.
the good news is because I had the oral skills like video thing to do. This is the one good thing that happened to me today. I he cancels class today so that people can as like a recording time in case you need it. Um, so
He's
I
real for
had it.
that.
So normally my like life is split up. I have diction, an hour, oral skills. Uh, I didn't go to piano today.
Did you just realize you forgot to go to a class?
Yeah. My God. Oh
Whoops.
no.
Should we
Well,
should we take a quick break?
no. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just have to email the teacher and be like, I am so sorry.
I didn't think about your class today.
No, if I like explain that I was under a lot of stress, hopefully it'll be fine. I
Yeah,
forgot today was Monday half the time. Um,
understandable.
but sorry, I just kind of shouted out what day we're recording on. But
They can't know. They can't know it's a Monday.
but I had a 4 hour break, should have been a 3 hour break where I could spend time recording those videos. I did that at first, and then I went back and slept for like 2.5 hours.
Oh, good.
Um, so I got that, but I'm still running on those 2.5 hours that I
Yeah.
got. So after
What a
this, I'm gonna
compelling
sleep.
day you've had.
And what's best is that for some fucked up reason in my brain, I decided to take another NDA shift tonight.
Wait, so you have to get up at like 3 a.m. again?
Yeah, I do.
Rinse, repeat.
Yeah, hopefully there's not another thing tonight.
Yeah, hopefully no fires and you can
Yeah,
get a good night's
but
sleep.
it's been a really bad day.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
But I got new pants.
The new pants are what it's all about.
I got like yoga pants.
Can you show us?
So I'm not wearing them right now. Um,
More
I
the
don't.
reason to
They're
show
not
us.
like. They're not. No, I don't.
Okay.
They're not
Okay,
out
you don't
right
have
now.
to do it. You don't have to do
But
it.
they're like yoga pants, but they're like bell bottoms at the bottom. You see a
Cool.
lot of girls wear them.
Yeah.
And it's so comfortable.
Are they
And
comfy?
it's like, and it's also like shape forming. You know, does it make any sense? Form fitting is the phrase I
Yes.
was looking for.
What did you say? Shape forming?
But yeah, they're form fitting at like the waist and thighs, and then they like go into bell bottoms at the bottom. It's really cool.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Sorry. How
It's
was your
okay.
day?
My day has been stressful. If you can't
Oof.
tell, the Games Connect Us All set is a little bare bones today. That's because this is my last day here. Well, my last Games Connect Us All episode here. So next time on Games Connect Us All, I don't know. I'm gonna be like either in like a disgusting room because like we haven't gotten everything set up yet, or I'll be in like a beautiful different place.
It's worth noting as well that we might not be able to do an episode next week because of
Yeah.
this. Um, yeah.
I'll be I'll be on the move, but maybe you'll see this glorious face next week. I also went to New York City last week.
Did
I don't
you?
think I talked about this, even though we have done a podcast episode since then.
Yeah, no.
I saw The Phantom of the Opera on Broadway.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Before,
I think you did tell me about that a while ago.
Yeah, we planned it at like Christmas time, but man, it was awesome, and I'm like kind of cynical. It was my childhood dream to see Phantom of the Opera because I was like obsessed with it as a kid. I thought it was so epic. Like,
right. I did too.
The Phantom. But I've kind of become cynical about it as I've gotten older because a lot of it is like kind of like weird.
It is kind of
Like,
weird.
The whole thing is kind of Stockholm-y. Like,
Yeah.
he kidnaps her basically. I didn't think he was a bad person when I was a kid and watched it, and it's been so long. When I saw it, I was like, this isn't the Phantom of the Opera that I knew. He's such an asshole. He kidnapped her,
Right.
creeped her out.
Yeah, and then she fell in love with him.
Hmm.
Same with Beauty and the Beast.
I don't think they really fell in love. I don't think she ever loved him.
Oh, I don't remember.
I think
honestly.
she pitied him. But
Ah.
so the last role that this guy did before Phantom.
I can't do this right now.
What?
Sorry. No, sorry. I was like,
Jeez, I didn't know you didn't care.
No.
Maybe we're similar. Maybe neither
I was
of us
like
really
trying to
wanna be here.
multitask and like and write the email at the same time when we were
really?
doing this. And I had said like, "Hi, Professor. I just want to apologize for missing class today. I had a really bad day."
Yeah, maybe save it for later.
Maybe I should wait until tomorrow to send that email.
Yeah, you're okay.
I'm all right. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
You. Please go ahead.
His last role before Phantom was Shrek, and it really
Nice.
shows. He is a Scottish boy,
Nice.
and it was the most Scottish Phantom of the Opera ever. Some of his vowels took me out of it a little bit. Because like
the Phantom of
the Phantom of the Opera.
Right.
But there's a few like the most dramatic part is when he like drops the chandelier on everybody, for those of you
Right.
who haven't seen it, and he's like, "You will curse the day you did not do," and he's all angry. This guy was like, "You will curse the day you did not do." So yeah, I was kind of like,
Really.
So, I mean, I don't want to criticize a Broadway show, but there were vowel moments that I was not there for. That being said, he was the only culprit. He was the only culprit of like taking me out of it a little bit with his vowels and stuff.
Oh.
I'm like, I feel like there was got to be a person who was like, "Hey, you might want to take it easy a little bit."
You might want to like chill, dude. Like,
yeah, but highlight was Christine. I mean, she's the real main character. She has much more to do than the Phantom, which I don't get why he's the last one to bow, but like he's not really the main character in my opinion.
he's a title character. Though.
He's the title character, but I'd say Christine is like the main character.
Christine.
But she was amazing, and she like sold the whole thing, and it was kind of like it had a different kind of impact on me than I was young. I kind of got more of the message. Like at the end, she tells him he's not alone, and he kind of like realizes that he was being a douche.
Oh.
I never noticed that, I guess, originally, but she goes back to give him his ring, and she's like, "I feel bad for you, but I used to interpret 'you're not alone' as like, 'You're not alone, I'm here for you,' but it's really like you're not the only one who has to suffer."
I don't know enough about the musical to have a
fuck you.
meaningful conversation about.
But
well, no, I get what you're saying.
so I went to see Phantom of the Opera. It was pretty great. And that's been my week.
Nice. Also, I'd like to add to my week.
Oh,
The town that I'm in is also on a boil water warning, so
yeah.
we can't like drink water out of the water fountains. It's great.
Oh no.
Apparently, it happens every year.
That's like a college thing.
Is it?
Can we talk for a second about college things before we get into like today's topic?
Jake presses record on accident.
Again. No, but I have spent some time like at colleges. Not I haven't been to college, but you know. And there's always fire alarms. At least once a year. I've heard from like 3 people. There's like something where you can't have water. And the showers are cold. These are the 3 things I've noticed.
I've never had a cold shower. There's been times where like there's been a few seconds where it suddenly gets really cold, but like I've never had an experience where I was like forced to take a cold shower.
Let me tell you something.
Did you?
So the reason that I have experienced a touch of the college life is because I've visited my girlfriend and stayed with her at her college. And I was like, is this what college is like? Because all of the showers were cold. Like, cold was the only setting. So there was 4 showers in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I went in, turned it on. Okay, this is cold. Maybe don't know how to work this. Still cold. I put it like every different position and leave it for like 5-10 minutes. And it's cold. I'm like, okay, it's just a shower. I did the same thing. It took me like 30 minutes to check every one. There was no hot water in the whole bathroom. And I was like, I'm not going to college. I can't do it. I can't take a cold shower every day.
That's why you gotta come here, man. We have warm showers.
I have no choice at this point.
Yeah. But yeah.
Let's get into the topic.
Yeah, let's get into like
for the
actual
first
games.
time in like 3 weeks.
I know.
Let's talk about games.
Did we even talk about? When was the
We
last
haven't
time we
talked
talked
about
about
games in a
video
long time.
games?
It's been a pretty long time.
Well, we did the open world games episode.
That still feels like a really long time ago, though.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
Feels longer. But let's get into what makes a video game bad. We previously talked about our top 5 favorite games. Today you're going to hear a little bit about our bottoms. Not necessarily bottom 5.
You're going to hear all about our bottoms.
But you know, that's what we're going to do on this episode. And we're going to talk all about games. What makes them good, what makes them bad. Because we've talked about games, but I feel like we haven't defined what we really look for in a game. And what really makes a game garbage.
I thought you were about to say, we haven't defined what is a game.
What is a video game?
Have you ever seen those videos? It's like this really bad CG, like 2000 CG, and it's this guy with yellow hair. He's got like a beak nose, and he talks exactly like how you just talk. He's like all naked too.
Play a clip right here.
You were like, so like that cadence is exact. Oh my god, hang on. We're doing this now. Guy with blonde.
This better be real. You better not Mandela effect this and make me look stupid.
Here, guy. Meme.
I feel like the yellow beak might be important to your search.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
No! I swear I'm being dead ass here. Loincloth. Blonde guy. With the meme. Oh, I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to what I want, but not quite. Oh my god, I can't.
I'm looking now too.
Loincloth. Wait, do you even know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm just looking.
Loincloth.
Finding really weird pictures. You said it was like bad CGI?
Oh yes, that's a bad CGI. Um, Duckman, blonde loincloth. Oh, I'm getting closer.
I don't believe you.
Loincloth. Oh, I found him! I found it. I found it. I found it. I found it. I found it.
Great.
Oh my god, this took so long.
Okay, just send it to me and I'll put it in. What did you? What?
Understand where you got that. I. I'm so sorry.
I don't know how. I think I might just cut the whole thing out and put the bird
No,
guy.
no, you can't. You have to.
Anyways,
This deserves to be in the video, in the episode.
You're gonna regret that. You've shattered my shakashuri.
I hope y'all can play it 3 feet up your ass.
Dunno, but I'd sure like to try.
Anyways, that was the bird beak man. It took a long time.
What even got us on that?
I don't know how we got here. You literally were just like, have you ever heard of the bird CGI guy from 2000s? It's from a movie or something.
Your cadence sounded like him.
I
thought you would know who it is.
No, I don't know who this is. Let's talk about games. Please.
Okay.
Now I gotta clear all these tabs of looking for beak person.
Are you gonna put up your beak man as well?
Yeah, here's the closest thing I could find to what Connor described to me. Anyways, let's talk about the aspects of a video game. And these are what I listed, and you let me know if you found anything, if you have any things that I didn't include here. But I said the aspects of a game, at least that are important to me, are story, graphics, gameplay, music, writing, how well it runs, and the general excitement factor.
Can you go through those again?
Yes. For anyone who didn't hear, story,
Sorry.
graphics, gameplay, music, writing, how it runs, and the general excitement of the game.
Are graphics on there?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I must have missed that one. But
It's okay.
I agree with all those, yeah.
But what for you makes a good game? Like what aspects need to be right?
Well, I'm a sucker for a good story. Actually, even more so, like a story with good characters. And the difference is like you get connected to a character more so than like invested in the story. That makes any sense?
Right, especially if it's like the character you're playing as.
Right. So story and character, big thing for me. I like good gameplay as well. If it's not fun to play, why would I play it in the first place? But also something else that I feel like needs to be said is rewarding. Like it needs to be rewarding to play. You need to feel good once you play it. And when we get as we get further into the episode, I'll double down on that because there's something else. There's something I'd want to talk about specifically later on.
Okie dokie. For me, I'd say Probably story, which kind of goes along with the writing of a game.
Right.
That, I mean, if the game doesn't have a story, it has to have really good gameplay for me to even
Right.
consider playing it. Like, if it doesn't have a story and it's not Mario, I probably won't play it.
That's fair.
I mean, most
I'm kind
games
of
are
the same
required
way.
to have a story, but, like, I'm not a mobile game guy or, like, instant gratification type of games. They don't really do it for me.
See, for me, I like Clash Royale. It's the kind of game that I like. Don't say it like that.
Well, that game has no story.
I know.
It probably does, actually.
It has like backstory.
Lore.
Well, there's a difference between lore and story as well, but we're not going to get into that right now.
Right, that could be a whole other thing.
That's a good episode. But the yeah, I agree. Story is very important in games. I tend to get drawn more towards games with interesting stories.
For me, graphics are kind of a big deal too. If a
See,
game
me not as much.
really for graphics can be good without being impressive, but like the graphics and how it runs, and I don't think either of us have these games on our list, but Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, the way it looks
Right.
and the way it runs, like the gameplay and the story doesn't make up for it for
Something
me.
like that, yeah. But like art style can make up for something like that.
Right,
Like,
I'm just not a fan of the art style either.
Right, that's the thing.
But if you compare it to
but
Legends
something like-
Arceus,
Right, Legends Arceus I
makes
think,
up for. I think it has some graphical difficulties at times.
Right, but I think the art style works for it.
Yeah, and
Works
it's
in
made
its
up
favor.
for. Like, it's like it doesn't feel like, hey, we didn't work hard on the graphics. It looks like the graphics are part
We're
of the
not
game.
as it looks like it in some Pokemon games. It looks like the graphics were like just like they did them because they had to do them and they
That's
just needed
what-
to get them done.
That's what Violet and Scarlet felt like. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, we made the whole game when we forgot graphics.
But like with Arceus, it's more so we wanted to take the time to craft a great game, and the graphics just happened to be like the least priority on that list.
Can I be honest about something? And I don't think I had included it previously, but I think Legends Arceus is probably one of my favorite games.
I would say so too.
I don't think I put it on my top 5, but the more I think about it and the further away it gets, the more I think like that game really had me very engaged for the plot, the characters,
Right, like I actually
the
enjoyed
gameplay was
playing
really
it.
good.
It's one of the it's I think it was the first Pokemon game I ever finished. No, that's a lie. Sword and Shield was the first.
It was the first Pokemon game where I went all the way to the last thing
Yeah, me too.
and like did the hardest thing. I think Fire Red I beat the Elite Four. I don't know if there's anything after that.
the champion.
Yeah. Oh, I beat like that part of the game. I don't know
Oh.
if there was,
I don't think there is anything after that.
but it was the first time where I was like didn't want to put a Pokemon game down. Usually Pokemon games for me are like I have a 7-hour car ride. Let's see how far I can get in Pokemon Emerald on an emulator
Oh.
on my phone.
I couldn't do that.
Really? That's
I
like
hate playing. Well, we'll get to that later. This is related to
Okay.
something I want to talk about later.
all right. So let's talk. We're already kind of on the subject. Let's talk about some of our favorite games and how they relate to the different aspects of a good game and how that has affected us. Because if we can understand what makes a great game, we can understand what makes a terrible game.
Right. Mine are not necessarily my favorite games, but they are like games that possess qualities that I find are good for games, you know.
Right. We don't have to go through every single one we wrote down. We kind of have a list here, but
Yes. You go ahead. I was waiting for
Thank
you.
Oh, I see. Well, my first one that I had down, or first two, were the Mario Galaxy games.
Oh yes.
I mean, what games better show so many of the aspects of a good game? I think for what it lacks in story, it makes up for in like the character and the drama of the
See,
story.
that's exactly what I mean. That's what I mean, right? Because like
It doesn't
you're
really
invested
have
in,
the
like-
story is still like save Peach,
right.
but
But
they
you're like
add
invested
stuff.
in like Rosalina and
Yeah.
like Luigi and the other and Captain Toad. Like you're invested in these characters.
There's a lot more
even
to it than
Peach and
previous
Bowser.
Mario games. I think Sunshine cracked the surface of having characters you care about by having like cutscenes and stuff.
Right.
Like I really cared about Flood, but I feel like Galaxy was the first Mario game that was like, this can be more than Save the Princess without being more than Save the Princess.
right.
So like, it felt like there was just a focus on making it a Mario game, but there was like a 2-person department that was like making sure that it was like an engaging experience beyond being a Mario game.
Right.
So I don't know, and it has the graphic style. Like I don't think will ever be outdated.
No,
I love
that
the
is
way
a game. That
Galaxy
is a game
looks.
that will age well to infinity and beyond.
Yeah, the music is fantastic. The first Mario game with a full
Orchestrated,
live
yeah.
orchestration. And it's just exciting. It's just fun to play. The graphics are good. The gameplay is good. They're 2 of the best games ever made.
Old words. But...
I would say that there's not many games that show like this is a video game. So for one of my top games that this was on my top 5 list, there's also a game that I believe shows some of the aspects of a great game without necessarily capturing all of them, is Firewatch, which is kind of a walking simulator, as Connor put it when we were doing our top 5.
Right.
But for what this game does lack a lot in gameplay, like it's really walking around and doing stuff. But this is an example of a game where the gameplay is weak, but the story and the writing, the characters, and especially the graphics, like make up for it in every way. Like the graphical style and the story are so good, and that was probably the first video game I ever played that actually had an impact on me as far as like the way a great story can have an impact on a person.
Nice. Yeah. I still have yet to play the game.
I recommend it. It's
your-
on Game Pass, so
Yeah, maybe I'll try it out soon. But piggybacking off of your last point about like story, how story can change like a person, like people. Undertale was that for me.
I haven't
Was
played
my-
it yet. I really want to.
You should. You've avoided being spoiled this whole time, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't know anything about it other than I've only read
Sans
fan
funny.
fiction.
Excuse me?
I've only read fan fiction of it, but never played it.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack.
So is Papyrus's Lower Regions, according to the fan fiction I read. A lot to unpack.
Okay. So, anyway, Undertale. It's a choose your own adventure story, basically. Not like Telltale games.
I read it ironically. The fan fiction. I want to backpedal a little bit. I feel like
You
I
don't
didn't
get to
explain that
backpedal
well.
now. No,
You
we've
can't
already
just
moved
leave
on.
it in the dust.
We've
These
already
people are gonna
moved
think I'm a
on.
bad person.
We've already moved on. You cannot backpedal now.
All right, let's just move on. Let's just leave that in the atmosphere.
Um, but you get to. It's
Sorry.
based on like a morality system. Undertale is, and no matter, depending on how many people you kill, you get a different ending of the game. And it's the ending, specifically the pacifist and genocide endings are very impactful. There's the genocide is kind of scary and like makes you really think about what you do, and the pacifist is like, oh, I feel so touched and loved. And I watched the Game Grumps play it a long time ago, and yeah.
My God, my so we're having like kind of a bad weather where I live, and like the little thing in the corner of my computer said snowing, and then I just watched it turn red slowly and then switch to winter storm.
It's lightly snow. Winter storm.
Now I'm nervous.
It'll be fine.
Yeah,
It'll be
okay,
all right.
okay.
But yeah, do you want to talk about your second game as well?
Let's talk about two more games before we move on
Yes.
from our great games, and I think they're both games that we both have a bit to say about.
Yep.
But Phasmophobia is a game that has no story, pretty much.
Yeah, basically not. Yeah, no story at all.
No story, no music really. The graphics, in my opinion,
Although the sound design is
the sound
very
design's
good.
great. The graphics, in my opinion, are like they're okay, but like they're not like that much better than Gmod or something.
Right.
There's no characters. Like, so how is this game a game that we play all the time?
We literally play this like every time we're like, oh, we should play a game together. And we like go through all of our games, and none of them like appeal to us, and we're like,
And then we're like, oh yeah, Phasmophobia! Every single time.
yeah,
But I feel like the gameplay and the multiplayer experience,
it's so good.
it makes up
like,
for like not having anything. And that's really a different type of gaming experience.
Right. And the problem is you can't play it too much either. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's people that are
after
like
one or
fucking
two.
like there's like people who play it for like until they're like level 5,000 and like I'm
What's even the point anymore?
right, and they literally aren't even like scared
by
at
it.
all. It's like they like go in, put stuff down, and then go back out, put stuff in. It's very formulaic. Everything's like it's all crazy.
See, for me, it's like watching a horror movie. If you go into a horror movie and you're like, this isn't real, so I'm not going to be scared, and
Right.
it's not going to be scary, and it's not going to
But
be as
it's
fun.
it's gonna be spooky enough to like make your adrenaline go.
Right. So Phasmophobia, I like to go in like not being super like cynical about the experience of it, because I just kind of like the little
Right.
scares. There's a lot of good.
Yeah.
It's very good at building tension. Like it never throws too much at you.
It's good at building tension,
It's
but
not
it's
good
not
at
very
paying it
good at
off.
like paying it off. They have one jump scare that's
And it's
like
not a jump scare,
legitimately
The
the
first
jump
time
scare,
it's frightening.
just quite frightening. It literally like it scared the shit out of me the first time I saw it.
Yeah. The
'Cause,
thing
like-
is, it's like the jump scare. Like there's only one. I feel like they need
Right.
to have more.
I think the like person
Scares.
stays the same too. Like the model doesn't change.
Yeah.
for...
No, it's the same thing. You just get used to it. Still a fun game though. I figured it was worth touching on because it's an example of a game. All right. I don't remember if I talked about this on the podcast. There's this movie called The Menu that I saw.
I've heard of it.
And
It looks good.
I'm gonna not really spoil it, but the payoff of the movie is that he's trying to make all these awesome food dishes, but like the girl just wants a good old cheeseburger, and like that's what makes her happy.
Right. Yeah,
I feel
I
like
saw that.
in the world of games and a lot of movies, there's like the fine dining experience, and then there's just
Uh-huh.
cheeseburgers. Like sometimes you need cheeseburgers.
That's so true. Oh
Right?
my god! Because my comfort game is Gas Station Simulator,
As a
and that
cheeseburger man.
game is so jank. It is so fucking jank, but I love it. It's so fun. But we're not talking about that right now. But
I feel like I've heard you talk about it so much it could just have its own episode at this point.
it couldn't have its own episode. I don't think it's not quite deep enough for that.
Gas station. We should do a power wash simulator power hour.
We can. I've never played it before.
I haven't played it, but I really want to play it. And then there's multiplayer for it too.
We should talk about like at one point we should talk about games that like we've played that nobody really knows about.
Yeah, more obscure
like,
games.
Yeah, because I
Good
put
idea.
I talk about Gas Station Simulator there. But actually, speaking of games that probably not a lot of people know about,
Unless
are
they're like, unless they've
unless
been
they're
around
like
a while, I
us.
feel like. 'Cause I don't think
Yeah,
it's. I think it had its popularity.
I think it did too. We were here. It's kind of actually getting a little bit of a resurgence, I think, with co-op games. What basic premise is that you're two explorers in this castle. You have to solve puzzles. One person has the answers to the puzzles. One person is solving them, and you have to communicate back and forth based on what it is.
Personally, it's my
It,
probably my favorite co-op game that
I
I've
agree.
played.
And we still have yet to play the other three games
I
in the series.
I know we'll get there.
But I can only imagine it gets better quality from there.
Right, because
The
the first
only
one,
issue,
the only thing missing probably was that it's old.
yeah, it's a little,
It's got to be from like
dated.
2013 or something.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like the
kind of
vibes.
dated. It gives old Portal vibes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so good though.
it is really good, really good quality. We only had like a complaint on like one of the
I thought the chess one was
puzzles.
kind of dumb.
The chess one is just like
It didn't
kind
work.
of difficult.
It was jank, and then
Yeah, it was too jank. But that I think was the only one. The only like major complaint that we ever like really had about it was the radio didn't work for us.
oh yeah, so we just
And
used
that's like
Discord.
I think from what I've heard though, like the radio is like a big part of like the gameplay, and I'm like I
Hmm.
can't imagine it's that much different than going on Discord. It's just like a matter of
Yeah,
you can't talk over each other on the radio. I think is
right.
the only thing.
I think that game is another game that doesn't have a story, but kind of feels like it has a story. That's how I
Yeah,
felt at least. There's like a certain
yeah.
gravitas to it. The
Yeah.
graphics were really good for the time, I'm assuming, unless it came out like last year.
Right. Yeah.
And there was a lot of
Well,
cool music too.
it's in an older like aspect ratio too.
Yeah, but we could live with that.
Right. But anyway,
But those
let's
are
move on.
those are some great games that we think describe what a good game is. So now that we have that as a point of reference, let's talk about some of the most infamously bad games ever made.
Oof.
We're starting off, we're going to go kind of era by era, and I'm kind of proud of one of them. One of my eras I came up with. But let's talk about early gaming. The first game that everyone is like, that's bad, is E.T.
Right.
I mean, there were bad games before, like Pac-Man on the Atari is really bad. But, like, everyone knows E.T. because it, like, killed gaming
Right.
for a second.
It was like second. It was like responsible for the video game crash.
Yeah. I mean, we came
Um,
back. You could also argue that the crash could have been a lot worse if E.T. didn't kill it sooner.
It could have. That's
Because
true.
I think video games could have really come to an end if E.T. didn't, you know.
Are we attributing the success of video gaming to ET right now?
E.T. is the single most important game. I mean, it's the butterfly effect, right? What if E.T. was super successful? Maybe video games would have just died.
Maybe. So what's
Have you
so
ever
bad about
played
this
E.T.?
game? I have not.
I unfortunately have. It was on
Oh my god.
one of those mini Atari things, I believe.
Oh.
Mhm. Which, why would they do that? Like, put the worst
I don't
game-
know.
I think it's kind of part of the selling point, though. Like, I
Well,
wanna
yeah,
play
but they
ET.
also buried like thousands of them
Yeah.
in like a dump.
It might have been on an emulator, too, that I played it. Either way, I know I played it for like 6 minutes. It makes no sense. You walk somewhere, then you like fall in a pit and you're stuck, and it's over.
It's over?
I mean, there's more to... You can play the game and beat it, but... And there's like, you have to do like some secret neck trick with E.T. to get out of the hole to make him fly. But I didn't know.
Can you demonstrate the neck thing again?
He like goes
please?
like, and then he starts flying or something. This
I know,
might all be
I-
crazy.
I can picture it too. You really are
And then there's like some Atari sound effects going on while it's happening. So it's like. God, there's just like not really any good Atari games in my opinion.
No.
I like one called Jungle Hunt, but
the Pitfall's good.
I think E.T. is responsible for a lot of things, but it's not like it's not heinous. It's not like you can't. I don't think
it's offensive, but not like it's not like other stuff.
I mean, it was bad, so no one bought it, and they made a lot, and they made too many copies.
Right.
I mean, that's the real problem. It's not like the game was so bad that it like.
I feel like the game is actually like more well known nowadays than the movie.
I don't think so.
I think so. Then
maybe the times are changing.
Nowadays, I haven't heard people talk about
E.T.'s
E.T.
amazing. I'll talk about it right now.
I agree, it's amazing, but like, I've never heard anybody talk about it in like forever.
That's true. I feel like E.T. is like the Steven Spielberg's lost son.
Yeah.
At times.
You don't really ever think of it as like a Steven Spielberg film, you know.
But we're not done with Steven Spielberg. He'll come back. He always does.
Really?
I think so.
I don't know.
We'll
Okay,
find out. Maybe I'll prove that I'm dumb again. Anyway, Zelda and Mario.
I see what you're saying now.
CDI games.
What the fuck are
those?
these?
Do you not know what they are?
No, I was reading what you have written in parentheses.
Oh, I wrote, what the fuck are these?
Yes.
I mean, what are they?
Well, do you know like Nintendo doesn't even know they exist. Like they don't really like.
They like don't acknowledge.
Somebody asked like the creator of Zelda.
He was like, what?
Yeah, literally. He was like, what is that? I don't know what that is.
No way. He definitely knows what it is, and he's just like, yeah, I don't know about that one. Never. Doesn't sound familiar.
Well,
but
the thing,
in 19,
worst...
I was about to go on a historical rant.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that in 1989, Nintendo signed a deal with Sony to begin developing a CD-ROM based system known as the SNES CD, and it was going to be an add-on to the SNES that would allow them to play games from CDs. But Nintendo broke the agreement and then signed with Philips to make the add-on, which was not very successful because you've never heard of it probably. But this caused Sony to do their own add-on, and they took the add-on they made and they turned it into its own console, and they called it the PlayStation. Did you know that?
I did know that.
The people at home might not have known that.
No, they didn't.
I'm sorry for interrupting you with it.
No, I didn't. I didn't know that you had that prepared.
This is the best episode of Games Connect Us All. But it's so basically.
Basically, they're just bad games.
They
like
were
really
a
terrible.
Mario game and a Zelda game that were made for the CDI, which was the one that Nintendo made in partnership with Philips. So that's why nobody knows about them, and they're also really bad. But I feel like people don't even know that one meme is from one of the Zelda CDI games.
Yeah, like the Bombs Rope guy.
Yeah.
Bombs Rope?
I mean, it's a really popular meme.
I got it.
I don't think people know that it's from the CDI game. But those are pretty notoriously bad games.
There's 2 Zelda ones. There's 1 Mario one.
And Hotel Mario.
We probably should have specified which CDI games. I think we were just saying the CDI games.
I mean, they're all bad.
Yeah.
Zelda and Mario. But
Mario, I think, isn't it like Mario's Hotel?
Yeah, it's Hotel Mario.
Hotel Mario.
By the way, these I feel like are. I think it'll be easier as we get to newer games, but these old games, it's kind of hard to put them in the category like that I assigned as what makes a game good. Like, how can you rate the music for E.T.? It's just blurps and bloops. The story, I mean, E.T. falls in a hole. I mean, you just gotta have to take our word for it.
But like with Zelda and Mario, those exist in those things.
Yeah, they really flopped. These are games. I feel like these ones are so infamously bad because they miss the mark on like every single aspect that we were
Right.
talking about. Which is why I think some of our own personal picks might be a little more interesting as far as like what makes a good game or bad game, because we're not. We talked about this before we came up with the idea for the episode, like that. If we just put like our top five least favorite games, it's just going to be like bad games, like
Right.
these ones that we're talking about.
They have nothing like to compare it against, because like
Right.
you say a Mario game, you have that Nintendo seal of approval,
Mm-hmm.
like which is the worst Mario game, but we can't say which is the worst game because like, well, fuck it, I'd say ET
Right,
or
and that's not
the
as interesting
TDI games.
of a thing to talk about. So moving on in history a little bit, one of the next infamously bad games. Have you ever heard of Superman 64? Do you
I
know
have.
of how bad it is?
Yeah, I do. I kind
I've
of
played
want to
it.
play it though. I've not
You
played it.
you don't. I feel like people see it and they're like, I want to play it, because that's what happened to me when I first heard about it. So I got in there, I played it. I'm flying through the rings. I'm like, this isn't so bad, and then I realized that that's it.
The entire game.
Yeah, it's flying through rings. I feel like the gameplay aspect wasn't really achieved here. I feel like they could have done more.
I feel like they couldn't have done they could have done more with it.
Just a little
the concept
bit. Like,
an
I know-
invincible man that is like as strong as a bull, like
and
stronger than a bull, but
Superman is as strong as a bull, no stronger. Okay, so this next, I'm proud of this category I came up with for this time in gaming history.
I'm
don't-
proud of it too.
I don't know if people have defined this period where it's like games that aren't retro games, but they're games that you wouldn't want to be seen playing because they're old. So I
You'll see what we mean in a second.
yes, I called this the post-retro era of gaming, where they're post-retro, but they're not like modern games.
Right.
I'd feel like this is stuff like from maybe 2000 to like 2012, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say about
Like
there, yeah.
I'd say Mario Galaxy is probably in the post-retro era. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
call it retro, but it's a good game that's not super modern. And there's a lot of
Right.
good games in this era, but there's a lot of bad games. I feel like
Yeah.
this is the most consistently bad games era, in my opinion. Because I feel like we're kind of in a renaissance right now
Right.
for games. But let's talk about Big Rigs.
I've never heard of it.
I feel like I might have talked about Big Rigs on here before. I haven't had the pleasure of playing Big Rigs, but it is very infamous for how bad it is. So I'm going to tell you some fun facts that I remember. I don't have a list or anything, and I'm not going to go on a historical rampage like I did. But it's one of those games that's just broken. It's a big release game. Like, it's not like a game that's just bad and broken. Like,
Right.
it was a fairly like advertised game that people bought, and it was literally like nothing has collision. It's a racing game where you play as a truck.
Oh.
It's Big Rigs.
Uh-huh.
In the
I
first,
think I have seen a little bit of it.
in the first release, the other cars don't move, and like, actually this is the part that you might know is like when you beat it, like after you race 3 laps, it says your winner.
Oh, does it say that?
Yeah. That's probably what it's most popular for.
I remember like people like driving off of like ledges and stuff. Like
Yeah.
the game just generally being broken.
Yeah, and if you drive backwards, they forgot to cap like the acceleration,
Hmm.
so you can go like hyperspeed until it like goes exponential and crashes the game if you drive backwards. It's like that bad. And the
Imagine
other
driving backwards so fast that you exit reality.
I crashed life.
I'd like to add a. So there was only two games in this
Yeah.
era, but I'd like to add a third that
Sure.
I think you've infamously forgot.
Infamously forgot.
I was trying to play off of like infamously bad games, but whatever. It didn't work
I
out.
think it was nice. It was good.
Ride to Hell Retribution.
Never
Ever heard of
it.
that?
No. Tell us.
Widely considered to be the worst game of all time. Sort of like a beat 'em up. And it's this like it's just this guy who goes around beating up other people on his motorcycle.
Oh my god, wait, I do know what this is. That's
And
all you had to say.
having clothes on sex in
Yes.
game about
Yeah.
like 12 times.
That's pretty bad.
And it's like the story is uninteresting, the gameplay is awful, there's bugs everywhere, and the scenes with the sex scenes are not even like enjoyable to watch. They're like really
I
awful.
have seen them and I can confirm.
like they're awful.
Oh god.
I can like picture that. Oh, get out!
We'll be right back. Do you want to move on to the next game?
Yeah.
Sonic 06. The game's so bad that it's gotten 06 after it. Because it was originally just
Yeah.
called Sonic, right?
It's called Sonic the Hedgehog.
But like Sonic 06. I played this. I had it.
Really?
I didn't like it.
See, I was interested in the story. Like, I think the story is actually pretty good, isn't it?
I
It's
don't.
just like the bugs just
It's
overshadow
weird.
it.
It's like the first Sonic game that's like, is Sonic weird? Like, because
What the fuck? What does that mean?
Sonic's weird. Sonic was never weird until this game.
Never?
I mean, I thought the art style and everything was pretty consistent, and then Sonic 06 happens, and he's like in the real world and stuff, and it's weird.
Okay, well, yeah, that's okay. Now I understand what you're saying. You can't just say Sonic is weird and expect me to understand what you're saying.
No, but I feel like beyond that, like the Sonic community got weird around this time, like really weird.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think it's. I don't want to say it's a result of the game getting.
Oh my
weird.
god, I just had a memory unlocked.
What?
Oh my god, I just had a memory unlocked.
What is it?
There was this series of YouTube videos, and it was all done in like Gmod, and it's like this it's the Sonic characters in the zombie apocalypse, and it's so fucking funny. Oh my god, I'm gonna watch that later tonight.
You know the video
Oh
of,
my god.
like that kid, right? Like screaming about Sonic.
What? Oh yeah.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
I just feel like I had one of my sister's friends was like a Sonic person. Like they drew people in Sonic style and stuff.
Right.
But they were one of those Sonic people. It's like
Have you ever seen like the Archie comics?
yeah.
I really like the Archie comics.
Sonic Archie comic?
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, what does this have to do with like anything?
Well, now he just fucking say whatever the hell he wants.
You ever heard of granola bars?
Yeah, of course I have. What the fuck does that have to do with? I could tell that's what you were like. I could tell too, because you were like, yeah, and you were looking at me like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, I've heard.
I
of
love
them,
that
but not
sweater,
read
by
it.
the way.
Thank you. I thrifted it in New York City when I was there.
Nice.
Sonic 06 is one of those games where you can kind of start pointing to some of these aspects of games. But I feel like games have developed these in a way because I feel like story was never really important.
Right.
Like in retro gaming, I think it's shifted to where it was less story based, whereas nowadays story based is like everything. I'd say
Yeah.
like most things have a pretty solid story.
Well, the thing is, have you ever like watched the cutscenes for Sonic 06?
I'm sure I have.
They're like really good quality cutscenes, and
I think.
like they're
Sorry.
like it tells a story,
Right.
and I like it. But
Have you played it?
Never played the game though.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's the thing.
unplayable. Lots of just really poor design. It looks
Yeah.
kind of like Disney Infinity in the worst way,
I feel like that's accurate. Yeah.
which is yeah, I remember having it and really not enjoying it, and it's pretty infamous for being pretty awful.
Yeah.
But now I believe we're on to some modern gaming failures,
Yeah.
which I think should get pretty interesting as we get into some reasons that games are terrible. First off is No Man's Sky. Are you familiar with this game?
I am familiar with like it a little bit.
It's a game that basically promised a lot, and this is a lot of like modern games that are bad and failures is games that promise a lot and then don't give what they promise.
Right.
So this like I remember that when the hype around this game was big because it was like procedurally generated
Right.
millions of worlds or whatever, but there's like nothing to do. I have a quote here
Do you?
by Jake Swearingen. He said, "You can procedurally generate 18.6 quintillion unique planets, but you can't procedurally generate 18.6 quintillion unique things to do."
Yes. I've heard that the game has gotten a lot better since its release.
It's one of those games that has gotten like updates that have made it better.
I've heard
which-
it's like decent now.
Yeah, which is a whole other problem that we might get into.
We're not getting into that today.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking
We might later.
Do you
but
think we should flip this into 2 parts?
No, we'll just keep it on one.
We'll keep it in one.
Because we still have the third part of the fucking technology video that we still haven't
That's
done.
true. We don't need to start any more
don't need to start another third-
franchises.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's move on to a very quick questions with Craig.
Oh, okay. We're not.
Oh
not
shit!
finishing it.
Oh shit! There's more.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
more
I was
games. Craig, hold on.
You've teased him. You've
Craig-
teased him now.
Craig, it's not time yet. He teased us. He called in. He was ready
But
to
you're
start.
the one you're not supposed to answer him until it's time.
Oh,
Look what you've done. Now now
Craig-
he's escaped.
Craig, stop crying. It's okay. We'll come
Look what
back to
you've
you.
done.
We have to talk about Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2 is one of those games that I really don't like.
I'm not a fan. I went through a really big phase with it, and now I can look back and say that I think Battlefront 2 has its moments, but it's pretty bad.
The main appeal of it is being able to play as like the heroes.
Yeah.
But like that's not what you're going to be doing 90% of the time.
No, yeah, and it doesn't really work outside of that.
Right.
I only ever played like the heroes modes. And I worked hard and I think you had to get 500 kills to get this Darth Maul skin. I got it and never played the game again after I got it, and I realized that I just had a problem.
Yeah.
It was like, wait, this is bad. This hasn't even been enjoyable. And now I'm just going in and dying with my new skin and making myself look bad. But that's a game where that's
I
another
found
game.
it very boring.
Yeah, and a lot of the updates helped a lot, but I don't think it ever was fully fixed.
Right. Well, and also the in-game purchases.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other aspect of modern games that makes them bad.
They were the first games to do loot boxes really terribly,
Hmm.
and that kind of kickstarted everybody else doing it.
Yeah. Also, I'd say this is a game where the graphics are really good. I think it's pretty graphically impressive.
I agree.
And the gameplay is good. It's just the way it's
disagree.
used isn't good. I think
Yeah.
like playing as the heroes is really fun, but then
Right.
it's like almost an Overwatch type of game mode that you have to play, and it doesn't really make sense.
Right.
And it doesn't work. I just think there's a lot of potential there. And I think the potential was...
I really like the first Battlefront game. I think that was
yeah,
really
that's pretty good. I think the potential was better used for Jedi Fallen Order because it uses a lot of the same like mechanics,
Right.
but like
Right.
in a situation where it just makes more sense.
Right.
All
right.
And on to our final, infamously bad Cyberpunk
77.
2077. I wanted to say 2099 because Spider-Man.
Oh,
But I haven't played this and I have no plans to.
I don't have any plans to either, but it has an infamously terrible release. And
I'd say this
hyped
is
up to the max.
Yeah, I'd say this is one of the most infamous, like, disappointing games. It's up there with E.T. as far as like bad games.
Yeah.
And it's not even that bad. It's just like the fact that it was in development so long and then was bad.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't good.
It's better now. Apparently, it's actually really good.
Yeah,
now.
and I'm just so
But,
sick
like,
of that. That could be a whole rant of an episode. I could go on for 2 hours about how sick I am of that.
Me too, but that's the topic for another day.
It is. I might have a little
Craig,
bit
you
of
can
a
come
rant.
back now.
Craig, it's okay. Get up off the floor. It's time for some questions with you.
Get up, or else you don't get dinner tonight. Come on.
Poor Craig. Are we like enslaving Craig? Come on, Craig.
No, we're not supposed to say it out loud. Come on.
Questions with Craig.
Oh, yeah.
How well do you know Metroid? I don't know how hard this is going to be.
I don't know.
But Craig says. That should be like Survey says. What is... Oh my god. Okay. What is the name of the Metroid's home planet?
Oh fuck! I should know this too.
Also, excuse me for coughing. I'm sorry.
Are there
That was
options?
ugly. Elysia, SR388, Talon 4, and Zebus.
I think it's Zebus.
Wrong.
Is it?
SR388 is correct.
That would have been my second guess. Those are the two like main planets, I think.
What is the name of the
Metroid.
ancient avian species in the Metroid series?
Oh fuck! Oh, Chozos.
Correct!
I almost said Chronos, and that.
Which legendary Nintendo employee was producer on the original Metroid?
Producer.
Mm-hmm.
Miyamoto.
It was
I didn't think so.
Gunpei Yokoi.
Oh my god! I should know that. I'm doing a video on one of his games.
Oh,
this
really?
week.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Super Mario Land.
Oh, yeah, he's the father of the
He-
Game
he-
Boy.
Yeah. I completely forgot about that. Ah.
What year did Super Metroid launch?
Oh fuck if I know.
1993, 1992, 1991, or 1994?
94.
Correct. Which series antagonist is also known as the Cunning God of Death?
What? I don't know. What are
The
the
choices are
options?
Crocomire, Ridley, Kraid, and Mother Brain.
What was the name again?
The Cunning God of Death.
I guess Ridley would be my
It is
guess.
Ridley.
I've never heard that,
Samus's
though.
dark suit first appears in which game? I give you options if you want.
Can you give me options?
Metroid Other M, Metroid Prime 3, Corruption, or Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Which, by the way, I really want to play the Metroid Prime games.
I think it was Prime 2.
Correct.
I started playing the first one, the remastered one on
It's
Switch.
good.
Oh, it's good. It's really good.
What is the best-selling Metroid game? Metroid, the original, Metroid Other M, Super Metroid, or Metroid Prime?
Super Metroid.
Wrong. The correct answer is Metroid Prime. I would have guessed Metroid Prime. I'm proud of myself.
Really?
Yeah. How many officially released games feature the word Metroid in the title? Including full remakes, compilations, and spin-offs.
Ooh, compilations and
11,
Jesus.
16, 14, or 12.
Okay, wait. So, how many games have the word Metroid in them?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got Metroid, Metroid 2, Super Metroid, Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Fusion, Metroid Return of Samus, or Samus Returns.
I think you should take a good guess. I just feel like we'll be here for a long time.
I am doing this my way.
All right.
Um, Great. Dread, Prime, Prime 2, Prime 3, Other M, the one on 3DS, and I want to say there's one more. What are the other? How many? What are the other
11,
options?
16, 14, 12.
I'll say 14.
Correct. Good job, Connor.
Does it say which ones it is?
Yes, but I'm not going to read them all.
Oh, come on.
I don't want to read 14 Metroid games. Which of the following is not a bounty hunter from Metroid Prime Hunters? Candon, Silux, Noxus, or Tyrix?
Say the options again.
Candon, Silux, Noxus, or Tyrix?
See, this is the Metro game I didn't know existed, so I don't know. Silix.
Wrong. Tyrix is the correct answer. In the original NES game, what color is Samus's clothing inside the power suit?
Red.
No, it's pink.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm dead serious.
I
And she had orange hair.
No, because I said red because I didn't know it was pink.
According to the Metroid manga, what is Samus's biological father's name? Rodney, Larry, Craig, or Tony?
Rodney.
Correct. I think it'd be really funny if her mom was named Tony. And finally, in which Nintendo game did Samus not make a cameo appearance? F1 Race, Tetris, Kirby's Dream Land 3, or The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening?
Wait. Read them off again, the options.
F1 Race for the Game Boy, Tetris for the NES, Kirby's Dream Land 3 for the SNES, or Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy?
Tetris for the NES.
Wrong. He did not make an appearance in Link's Awakening. In Tetris, he appears with other Nintendo characters if you win a B-type game under certain conditions.
Damn.
You got 6 out of 12 correct.
50%.
You dropped the blast ball,
I dropped the blast ball.
but not too bad. And that has been... Let me play the thing.
Questions with Craig.
Oh, yeah.
Now get back into your
All
hole,
right.
Craig.
Yeah.
Here's your
Get in
3
it.
Cheerios.
Stay in! All right, so we're gonna go through some of our least favorite games now, and that'll be the rest of the episode. So stick around
Yeah.
for just a few more minutes with us, because this is the part we've been waiting for.
Yep.
So let's do you want to do 2 each or 3 each?
Oh, 3 each.
All right. My first one is Mario Strikers. And here's why. And this is something that I know we said we're going to come back to, but releasing a game with not the actual game being there is just bad. And that just makes it one of my least favorite games ever, because this is the first time I played a game, played it for an hour, and then stared at the TV and was like, wait, there's nothing else in this game for me to do.
And
that's just disappointing.
And you wrote down as well, at like relating to this, Rocket League.
Yeah.
This is not my game, but it's just similar. It's a similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else to do in Rocket League.
Yes, CR. Rocket League Power Hour.
Yeah, it's fun for a little while, but then it just gets boring real quick.
Yeah.
So is it my
go.
turn to?
Yeah.
Overwatch 2.
I think we talked about this before.
I think we have, but I'm going to talk about it again. Having no progression in a game doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why you would do it. Masahiro Sakurai has I promise this is related. I'm not just going off on a random tangent. He has a YouTube channel now, and he makes videos about game development. And one of his big things is the fun element, where like a game needs to have a push and pull in order for things to be fun. If you have a game that has repetitive gameplay, but the gameplay's fun, you need to give the player something in return for playing it over and over again. Overwatch 2 doesn't do that. Hell, Rocket League doesn't really even do that. I think they're changing Overwatch 2 so it does do that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Overwatch 2 has a lot of things right, but it's just getting old. And you know what it really needs? This is a game that needs a story, because there's comic books and it's supposed to have a story, but it released without one. Because of course every game nowadays releases without all of its content.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, this has amazing music, really good characters. Like, these characters are ripe to be in a story. Like, it's all these awesome characters that have basically no story outside of like comic books.
Right.
It runs well. The graphics are good. The gameplay is good. It's just
repetitive.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over to a Jurassic Park, the game. This is actually probably the most obscure game that we've probably talked about.
You think?
I mean, Jurassic Park, the game for the Xbox 360.
That's fair.
But I played it, and this was the first.
Wait, it's a Telltale Games?
It is.
Game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm interested.
Maybe
now.
not. It's the style is Telltale.
Right, but still.
Which I didn't know when I got it, and then I played it, and this was the first time that I realized that a video game could be, I mean, a visual novel, basically.
Yeah.
And it was not like Firewatch, where it had a deep impact on me. I was just like, I could have watched a YouTube video. And your choices don't affect the story all too much, I don't believe.
Really?
Like, yeah. I mean, it's not going to drastically change the ending, I don't think. Like, I think there's like 2 or 3 endings. I could be dead wrong about that. Because I don't really remember it. But I feel like Telltale games are a whole different genre.
We should have an episode about that.
Yeah, Telltale games and like visual novels even. Like, are they video games?
I personally really like visual novel type games, but not like Doki Doki Literature Club or something like that. Like Phoenix Wright. No, I know, but that's just not the kind of game I'm talking about. I'm talking about like Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton. Like there's a game there's a game there. It's not just like doing what you're doing, but it's Right.
Now Jurassic Park the game has a good story. I'd say for the genre it's good, but for me it disappointed me because it was all story, and it could have been like an animated movie. Like, there's no gameplay other than quick time events,
Really?
Yeah, so it's like quick time events and choosing what to say. Didn't I thought it was gonna be like fighting dinosaurs and stuff,
Yeah, that sounds really boring.
because like Jurassic Park the game. But I mean, it has a good story, but it's not one of my least favorites of all time. But I feel like I wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. No, I get that. All right. My
You're
next
up.
one. Now, some of you youngins might not know this one. Super Mario Bros. 35. Now, I'm obviously joking because this was what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think so.
For Mario's 30th and 30th
35th. It's called Mario
30
Bros. 35.
Oh, yeah. Shut the fuck up. Fuck you. 35th for Mario's 35th anniversary, they released this game, and it's basically a play on like the Tetris 99 and Pac-Man 99 like gameplay style. Except it's the first level of Mario Bros. Well, it's not the first level, but like it's Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. Levels. Now the reason this is on this list, because it's actually a really fun game, is because it's a limited release, and now the servers are shut down, so you can't even play it anymore.
I never got to play it.
It was really good. It was really fun. It was actually way more balanced than like Tetris 99 is, and it's just like it was so stupid. It's so fucking stupid that Nintendo decided to release. There was like 5 games that were released that you could only get before March 35th that year, and
March 35th.
I caught myself too. I knew I said that. March 31st that year. It was like the first Fire Emblem game that they did a localization for, and that was only up until that day. There's several Mario things that were only available until then, including 3D All Stars.
Mm-hmm. Which you can,
It's just
luckily you can probably still get 3D All Stars.
you can through like through
Physical
eBay and
copies,
stuff.
yeah.
But even if you were able to get Super Mario Bros. 35, you
Couldn't do anything.
can't
with
play it.
Yeah.
Um,
That just sucks.
which
That's
is
just
awful, because it actually was a really good idea and it was really fun. But now it's up to you.
I just took all my bracelets off and I don't know where any of them went.
Did you put them on your bed?
No, I've been facing the camera the whole time. Weird. Anyways,
Well, here they are. No,
this is my last one. Final
Okay.
Fantasy 15.
Never played it.
Okay, noted. I don't know if this game is seen as good, because on list of infamously bad games, Final Fantasy 14 was on there.
Okay.
But Final Fantasy 15 is not a bad game. None of these are actually like my least favorite game. Mario Strikers might be, but
Wow.
Final Fantasy 15 doesn't make any sense to me. It's like has this great story. Like, I mean, I don't know the whole story yet, obviously, because I haven't played through the whole thing. But from what I gathered, like it starts off with like the most epic cutscene. The whole thing is epic and cool. It's like the vibes of Mario Galaxy type of thing, where it's just like
Nice.
a really cool looking game. But like once you get into it, like the characters are good too. I think a lot of that might be a friend I had who was helping me along the way, who kind of really liked all the characters. That kind of helped. But like the gameplay for me was just so bad that I didn't want to play anymore.
Right.
Like maybe it just went over my head, but like bless
Sorry.
you.
Thank you.
It might have just gone over my head, but like the combat system made no sense to me. Like all that you could do was like roll around and attack.
That's weird.
Not really in an engaging way, and you could like dash, teleport, but it didn't help you. Like you could just dash, teleport. Like what's even the point?
Right.
And you could like use the different characters to do special attacks, but that didn't really work either. You needed like points, and there was too many different like skill trees. It was just the type of thing where the gameplay bogged
Overwhelming.
it. Yeah, the gameplay just bogged it down, so I didn't want to play anymore. But I was really invested to know where the story went. But at this point, I don't think I'm ever gonna finish it.
That
So it's an
sucks.
example of a game where it has everything right. Like the music was awesome, the graphics are really good, and then it's just like it's like the gameplay was almost an afterthought.
That sucks.
Yeah, but your last game,
I kind of cheated with this one. All right. It's
You
not just
did.
one game. I don't like JRPGs as a whole. I don't know if we'd ever be able to do an episode on it or anything, so that's why I'm talking about it here. RPGs are really boring to me. I don't like random encounters. I think they slow down good games. I tried playing the first Final Fantasy games before, and they sucked. They're really like terrible to like try to play through. Granted, like the first two Final Fantasy games are not exactly considered amazing games by today's standards. But like the only RPGs that like I've really like turn-based, I guess is what I'm specifically referring to. The only turn-based RPGs that I've really latched onto are like the Mario RPGs. Just Mario
love
and
the
Luigi
Mario
and
RPGs.
Paper Mario are like really good games. I games that are like them I also enjoy,
Is Fire
like
Emblem?
Bug Fables. Fire Emblem is also another exception, I would say, because that's a tactical RPG.
I like Fire Emblem. I started playing it on my DS before my DS died.
I like it too. I like tactical RPGs a lot, but like JRPGs like Chrono Trigger, all like the original Final Fantasy games. There's others that I just can't think of right now.
I feel like there's like a certain market for those games. It's very much I don't know. Those games remind me of people who play D&D and hang out in the gaming store and smell bad.
Damn, bro, don't you play D&D?
Yeah, but I don't hang out in the gaming store and smell bad, I don't think. No, but like the greasy gamer nerds,
I
Final
know what you mean.
Fantasy,
Yeah, no, I
neckbeards,
agree.
milady.
Like I don't. It's just not my thing. I don't.
Yeah, I don't blame
It's
you.
too slow. There's nothing going on.
It can get pretty
when you-
boring, yeah.
Octopath Traveler is probably the only JRPG style where I've like sat down and I tried to like play more of it. And even that I haven't played in a long time because the gameplay in Octopath Traveler is actually really good, but it's still the same select menu item, blah, select menu item, blah.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest was the other game I was trying to think of.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
It's turn-based RPGs have their place, and when they're done right, they're really, really good. However, the only like company that's ever done them right is Nintendo with the Mario RPGs. I say that from my own experience because I have only played those.
Maybe you just haven't played a really great one yet.
I know, maybe I haven't. I've heard Persona's really good. But it needs to be like stylized. It needs to have like some sort of something setting it apart. Otherwise, it's just a JRPG with random encounters and Pokemon is like it borders on the line where I almost don't like playing it because
The random encounters are so bad when you're just
it's
trying
not
to,
just
like,
the random
walk.
encounter, it's the slow gameplay.
Yeah, like
uh,
walking and then just walking through the grass and then you get attacked by a
Right.
Pokemon and it's like
That's why that's I like
and you have to wait like 15 minutes.
that's why I like playing them on emulators because I can speed the thing
Yeah,
up.
yeah, that's what I've always done. Sped them up. I couldn't
But
I couldn't play them at normal speed. I wouldn't enjoy playing.
right, exactly.
Maybe we just have ADHD
Maybe we don't have enough
culture
attention
in
span.
our brains.
I yeah. I really don't like them. Not necessarily. I'm not saying that they're objectively bad, but I think that
I mean, that's the point. The point of this episode is that it's things that
we consider
Yeah.
like
things we wouldn't
I-
play.
right, and I like. There's something about them. The gameplay is not engaging, I guess is the best way I can put it. There's something about choosing menu options that just isn't fun. And I don't know. And no matter how good it looks, like with Octopath Traveler, it's a beautiful game. But I just can't sit there through menus and call that gameplay, you know?
Yeah. So, ready for our grand finale?
Yes, I'm ready.
We're going to talk about Super Mario Galaxy.
Oh, that's right.
I was going to talk about it earlier, and then Connor was like, wait, let's put this at the end, because I hate Mario Galaxy.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you said.
No.
But I'm over here saying that Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite games. One of the best games.
I believe his claim was when we recorded this earlier. His claim was something along the lines of, "It is one of the best games of all time." And
I pretty much stand by that.
You said it like an objective fact.
Wow, are you like offended or something by it?
No.
You said it like it was
I-
a fact. Like it was
I-
actually good.
I tend to agree. I tend to agree to some extent that Mario Galaxy is a good game. I think that they are decent games, and I think that they are well within the quality that you would expect with Mario. And I think it's better than like Mario Sunshine personally, and like I think it's better than that's tough to say. I think out of the 3D Mario games, it is near the bottom, I would say.
Mario Galaxy?
I would say, and the by the way, this is a debate between us about like this game, because yeah, you got it. Because Sunshine is the only one I'd really put below it. Because Mario 64 is like a masterpiece of gaming. It's like I could put Mario 64 below it as well. I'm lumping 1 and 2 together. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I might put 64 below it, but 3D World I think is much better, and Odyssey is like amazing.
Oh, see, for me, 3D World, like, I don't like 3D World.
Oh, we could have talked
We
about.
probably should have talked about that.
But
still,
this still works. We could just talk about as a whole.
Mario Galaxy. I
3D
mean,
World-
it was a bold claim to say that Mario Galaxy was one of the best games of all time. But also, when I'm thinking about the best games of all time, Mario Galaxy is in my head in competition, like within the best of the best.
See, it's not for me. Like
Weird. See,
You
for-
ask me what my favorite, what the best games of all time are. I go to like these. I go to newer games. I end up going to modern games like Elden Ring and God of War, because they are some of the best games that have ever been.
I mean,
created.
they're great, and I haven't played those, to be fair.
I haven't played them either. Well, I've played a little bit of Elden Ring, but not enough.
I mean,
to
for me, I feel like
give it a fair shake.
I don't know. I just feel like Mario Galaxy is a really well balanced game for Mario. I love playing Mario Galaxy, and I would consider myself to be someone who plays a lot of games. But I know that Mario Galaxy would also be very enjoyable for someone who doesn't like playing games.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And I think it's such a great balance that it's a really great game for everybody. I mean, I'd say when talking about the best games of all times, I'd put like that is in my head. Wii Sports is in my head. Super Mario Bros. The original Super Mario 64. You look offended.
I think you're nostalgia blind. I think
I'm not.
that's
I'm not nostalgic for those.
You just named Super Mario Bros. As one of the best games of all time.
Okay.
There's different.
I can
There's a
take that
difference
back.
there's a difference between influential and amazing game.
Okay, true.
And Mario Galaxy was a very influential game.
Well, I
feel
still
like
think
Mario,
I still think Mario Galaxy would be up there. Breath of the Wild probably.
Breath of the Wild
Ocarina of
is there
Time.
for me.
Um, I mean, that's a whole nother discussion.
Right.
But the point is that I think Mario Galaxy up there, and don't call me nostalgia blind because I'm not nostalgic for any of these.
I think you
Mario
are.
64, I am.
Because Wii Sports is not like the best game of all time either. Like it's a really good game. It's solid. I agree. But
when it comes to games overall, I guess it depends how you look at it. Because I feel like maybe you look at it more from the perspective of like, I don't know. When I think of best games, I think of the games that everyone enjoys, like games that are just like. You're looking at me so weird, dude.
I'm like thinking about what you're saying.
Okay, like Wii Sports. When we look back in 100 years, we're more likely to remember Wii Sports
Then what?
than any other games.
We are?
I think so. It's Wii Sports. Everyone played Wii Sports.
Yeah, but like
I mean, not us
And-
specifically. Humanity.
humanity has played more Wii Sports than any other game. Well, okay.
Yes. Yes.
I understand what you're saying now. I get it now. I got
Yeah,
it.
you get
Got
more of
what-
what I'm saying because I feel like
I get more of what you're saying now.
I feel like as far
Took
as
it away
best
from
games, and this is gonna be really funny, but I'd probably put Horizon Zero Dawn in my personal pick
Fuck you. Fuck you.
for best games as far as like quality and like enjoying them. But I feel like I'm thinking of best games, and this also originally wasn't about Mario Galaxy being the best game of all time. But I'm thinking more about games that are like games that define gaming.
Did Mario Galaxy define gaming?
I think it's a if you wanted to say gaming, I think Mario Galaxy would be a very good definition to show.
Okay.
And if someone was like, I want to play a video game, but I don't know where to start, I'd be like, play Mario Galaxy.
Okay. Yeah. But I might just as easily point them to Mario Odyssey or 3D World.
Yeah, agreed. I didn't say that it's the best game ever. I just said it's up there.
I think it's good. But the movement options are lackluster for one. And that kind of like
I don't think the
hinders it
movement
for me.
options are lackluster.
There's no horizontal movement. You have the long jump and that's it.
Yeah, there could be. I wish there was a dive or something.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take it out that much for
it's
me.
It's the only 3D Mario game without a dive.
Yeah. But I mean,
Um,
I mean that doesn't affect it too much for me.
I
think
the
I'd probably
music
put
I will say the music is really good.
yeah, and I'd probably put Mario 64 above it. Mario Odyssey, I don't know. Mario Odyssey maybe a little bit above it. But I don't look at Mario Odyssey and be like one of the best games of all time.
See, I do. I think Mario Odyssey is really good.
It is really good.
I think it's better than Mario 64 for sure.
Odyssey,
I think it's it's just Mario 64 but better.
Yeah. I mean it's Mario 64 perfected,
Right. That's
I'd say.
right.
And we were talking about the nostalgia factor too. But I feel like I'm seeing I think you understand what I'm saying now when I'm talking about like the best. Maybe I'm talking more about the most iconic. video games of all time.
I think so, because like best indicates like objective like quality that like the most amount of people enjoy. Like for example, Wii Sports did have a good amount of quality, but if you in modern society, if you brought Wii Sports here and dropped it in the middle of like the gaming space, nobody would fucking play it.
You're dead wrong.
No, I'm telling
Bro,
you.
there
I'm
would be a
telling you-
party.
No, I'm saying like
There would
if
be a Wii Sports
never,
party.
if Wii Sports never existed in the first place, and you made it now and dropped it in the middle of
Yeah, true.
like in the middle of gaming space, nobody would ever fucking play
I
it.
feel like I'm not playing Wii Sports.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, but
Like imagine if they made Switch Sports
without anything before.
without Wii Sports. Yeah.
Oh, it would be terrible. Like, it
It
wouldn't
wouldn't-
be
it wouldn't-
terrible. It would be good, but, like, people wouldn't play it.
Right.
Because it doesn't mean anything.
But people look fondly back on like Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls game, because like they remember it being good, and like they go back and play it, and it's still good today. And if you dropped that game into the current modern space, it would still perform well if under like the right circumstances, obviously. But the like Mario Kart Wii, even like that has more power in the current modern space than Wii Sports does. Like,
I mean, I guess
you
this
have
is
to-
just...
you have to think about it more in modern terms rather than like out of the games I've played in my life, these are the ones I liked the most. These are the ones that I think have the best qualities. Like you have to think of it.
I mean, I'm not speaking on behalf of society.
I think you are. I think you have, our opinion is law right now.
The Connor and Jake, on like an hour and a half into this episode of Games Connect Us All, represent modern culture's view on gaming,
Exactly.
and therefore we
So
can
if you
make
don't share the same
decisions.
opinion as us, as one of us, then
You have to
you're
choose.
fucked.
You,
Get
I mean,
fucked and like go die.
you
in
have to. Whoever you disagree with, you have to unsubscribe from channels associated with them, and subscribe
Yes.
to the other one's channels.
Yep.
But I think this has been a pretty good discussion. I don't wish to carry it on any further because I'm personally kind of
I'm
tired.
tired.
But I think it poses a good question for outside of. I mean, I know this is supposed to be about the worst games of all time, which it has been. But
Right up
outside,
until the end.
yeah. But defining, I think defining what the best game of all time is could be actually a very difficult thing, because there's a lot of interpretations of like the objective best game that fits all of the criteria that we talked about at the start of this episode, and it's just the best, versus like the cultural impact of a game, because I
Right.
feel like that is more of the side I was looking at. And I'll admit Mario Galaxy doesn't have as much of a cultural impact. I think if you dropped Mario Galaxy in a room of people, that it would be pretty popular.
I agree.
Today.
I tend to agree with that.
It floats around my head when I think of the best games, at least in my definition of the word best. But I mean, English language doesn't have enough words.
Right.
But this has been Games Connect Us All, and
Yes,
some
it
of our
has.
least favorite video games, and some of our favorite video games, and video games.
Yeah. Video games. Video games. Video games. Video games.
I'd say in conclusion,
Video games.
probably, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Eh.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching this
Thank you
episode
for watching.
of Games Connect Us All.
Yes.
We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.